All right, so welcome back to part 3 of the Rendezvous remix that I've been working on. Thought that I would just kind of share my progress as I went through remixing a track, and I picked this one. So last time we left off, we just had I think a 8-bar, 16-bar loop, and I was just kind of putting the groove together. Since then, I have arranged the track for the most part and got quite a long ways in the track. So I wanted to share what I had done. So essentially, my first step was to just bring in a reference track, something that sounded like at least somewhere in the style of what I was doing, and just figure out kind of where the break points were in the song, where the breakdowns were, just to give some context as far as making an arrangement. I am always aware that I can change the arrangement at any time, but this is a great way to get me started and start making a loop starting to sound like a song. So that's kind of where I go from there. I've added the first thing I did here is I started the kick on a different kick. So I kind of rearranged the way this is played. It's still played, on the same quarter notes and that sort of thing. But the triple kick happens in a different part of the groove, and I just liked it a little bit better. So, yeah. And as I've shown you before, there's just a slight delay that's filtered, so it gives just a little kind of slap back. Real subtle, but I like it. Helps with the groove, I believe. Then I added some extra kicks here later in the song, and what I've done here is just to differentiate from the main beat. Even though it's the same kick, I just lowered the semitone by 1. Okay, so it's just 1 semitone lower, and just gives a kind of a nice feel to it. And then I've got a couple more beats that I added here. So. So just some extra stuff going on in the kick. Next, I've added this here. And this is just an extra layer on the kick that just kind of comes in and goes, just in order to give just a little bit more impact to the kick in certain parts of the song. So if I play those together, show you before and then after, it'll kind of give that little more snap. Without it, with it. Just a little bit more bite, a little more attack. Real subtle once again. But I think these subtle things make a difference in the overall impact of a track. And then we've got this here. Nothing too exciting, but it definitely adds to the groove. Little extra, and then we get to our next added groove. All right. And then here is a different kind of clap sound that I put during the breaks. So a little bit of variation there. I got some extra sounds over here. Just this little kind of triplet sound here. And next part. That part I decided not to use. And I'll share this part here. Just a loop that I cut up. I like that it sounded kind of dirty, so I wanted to add that layer subtly to the groove. Then we got our piano parts. This is kind of more like a piano-ish atmosphere. All right. This is another kind of reverse. So pretty close to the same there. This is forward piano. Not really too much processing going on here except for the group here. So it's being sidechain compressed, and it's got Van Holla shimmer reverb, and then a little bit of mixed gel, which is just compression over all the parts. So they kind of gel together a little bit better. And then our impact is this part here. Once again, side chained and all that sort of stuff. So all together, all right. This here's like a darker hi-hat. It just kind of gives a little momentum, especially early in the song. Without it. I like the way it sounded, so I went for that. Here we've got one snare sample. Just that hit there. So. And then we've got our percussion samples here. Oh, let's see if I can just play what's going on here. Just a little shuffle. Like so. This groove here, this is the main bass part here. And then this is the added sub. Just a 808 sub sample that I've got. Part of my master template. It's in there. I use it quite a bit. It's a really great sounding sub. We got some open hi-hats that get kind of teased throughout, and then they continue for a while, then we drop them out. Once again, just trying to add more variation and interest to the listener, and also pick up the groove in different parts of the song. So I can kind of, it's just simple, right? So all right, just kind of that steady hi-hat. And we've got just a real slight 1/16 delay on the hi-hat, a real slight reverb. Just, once again, sometimes it's just those little details and a little bit of EQ. And that's that. We've got this part here. And that's, I shared this earlier on. This is one of the original loops, and I just did some volume editing on this, and same with volume editing on this. So these two parts playing together. If I play it just with the kicks, get kind of an idea of the context. All right. Next, got the shaker. Another part I showed you guys early on with the original loop and snare. I think that's on every other beat. So yeah, I think it hits the first beat and not the second. Yeah, the first beat, and then, so there you go. Although I think there might be a part where after the break, when it comes back in, it kind of switches. There are a bunch of vocals and different things, and I didn't really use much at all. I just found this little cut edit, which I liked. And let's see, that's there. Is there anything else over here? Another vocal part here. And kind of a cut up version of that in reference to the song. Just a little bit of, you know, background vibe going on here, a little voice happening. And then this part here. All right, simple stuff. Here I just did some kind of recording, playing around with a synth. I can show you like just little bits and pieces. So these are things that I could use in the song or add to the song if I choose to. There. Some glitchy stuff. This is probably not usable in this song, but I thought it sounded kind of cool. And so basically, it's just this was kind of going through different presets on the Absinthe, I think, and then just kind of tweaking with the sound. And it's also got a random feature, which I enjoy quite a bit. I love getting unexpected stuff. Obviously, a lot of it's going to sound like crap, but the parts that sound good are really good. So yeah, so it's kind of created a little sound palette to work with, you know, to add some extra sounds. I think this might have been one of the parts. Yeah. And this is just, you know, really severely EQ'd because I just kind of wanted that kind of droney sort of thing. I didn't want it too bright or anything. But I also felt that I needed a little bit more transient on the notes. So I just added kind of a filtered drum sound here. Removed a bunch of the lows and just this. Just gives a little more impact. And then finally, I found another loop that I liked. And let's see what I did. Yeah, so I cut out a few parts, but once again, I wanted to layer that snare clap sort of thing. And as you can see, it comes in and goes out throughout the song. So once again, it's just kind of an extra layer that it's subtle, but I think it just creates some differentiation that, you know, unconsciously you notice, and it kind of adds to the groove. So that is, sounds like this here. All right, so. It's pretty low in the mix, once again, but I think it does a pretty good job. So that is where the song's at the moment. And I think really all that I need to do is just fine tune the arrangement, maybe shorten it a little bit in some places, and maybe just add a little bit more melodic excitement or a little bit more groove excitement, probably a little bit of both. And because the song kind of sounds like it's throughout the whole song, it almost sounds like it's got a little bit of tension happening. So I want some parts of the song to feel like they're releasing completely from that tension, and where the whole song feels like it's like really moving forward, and then you recreate that tension again. So that is where I'm at. I hope you guys get something out of this, and I hope it gives you some ideas. But, you know, for me, I'm just kind of sharing what I'm doing here. So hope you got something out of it. I'll speak to you guys real soon. Take care. Also, just a quick heads up, if you haven't booked a session with me before and you'd like a free 20-minute consultation, all you got to do is go to musicsoftwaretraining.com/application, fill out the form, book your appointment with me, and we'll have a chat. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.